Wowee, Gabe. Man, Politician. I always think of that as the song to check it out, and it's a great one to hear because you get a combination of some chording, you get some combination of the single notes, and right away, when I hear this amplifier, this Dumble Overdrive Special, the first thing I notice is how much the note sounds so in front of the speaker, jumps out, really has a lot of bite, has a lot of body and definition and articulation. What a cool amp.
It sounds like it's breathing on you, like it's just woof in your face.
Man, well, great Robben Ford and the Blue Line Special.
Yeah.
If you don't know why we're here, it is because me and Gabriel are sitting in front of a Dumble Overdrive Special, serial number 195. Yep. We'll get into some of the specifics about the amplifier and what it was designed to do. As we know, every Overdrive Special is different. There's also a special story behind the cabinet that we'll get into. And you can see that we've got the fully outfitted kit here with the Dumbleator, with the 2290. We also have a reverb pedal that's living in the back of the rack, which is one of my favorite reverb pedals, which is the RV7, which has a Lexicon chip in it, very akin to sort of the classic PCM series rack units that you could find in a Lexicon. And we're just keeping it like you would find with Robben Ford, a nice little plate reverb just to add a little bit to it, but nothing too overwhelming. This cabinet is a Dumble 212 cabinet built for Todd Sharp, is what my understanding is. And this one has Jensen speakers in it, so not necessarily what you would think would be a speaker that you would pair the Dumble, but absolutely sounds insanely good.
Yeah.
This was actually voiced with a Telecaster that we're going to be using today as well. And so just so you kind of have an understanding of the player that this was built for, it was voiced around a Tele, although as you heard, it sounds absolutely incredible with a Les Paul.
Yeah, this is like my dream setup right here.
Yes, sir.
The look and just everything about it.
So we've heard a little bit of the Les Paul in kind of a higher gain, setting. Were we using overdrive and preamp on that
Overdrive and preamp on it.
Okay, so when you hear a boosted overdrive signal, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And what do you think would be another song if we want to kind of stick with the Les Paul and maybe, another, let's say, Robben Ford song as one of the most popular users of the Dumble Overdrive Special? What might we want to try out?
My other go-to, Revelation. No matter how many Dumbles we play in the future, that's always going to be my go-to song.
Yes. Well, let's get into that one. And do you think that we'll use, I guess that would start clean, right?
Start clean and then transition to the overdrive channel.
Yeah, and just to kind of show you where we are here, we don't have anything too crazy as far as the settings are concerned. Not like a ton of gain that's spilling out of this thing.
Only the bass a bit rolled back a bit.
Bass is rolled back a bit. I would say that this amp has a little bit more bass content than some of the other Dumbles, and not in a bad way. It's just kind of like a really big sound. And we just want to make sure that we're keeping everything in check. But let's go ahead and let's play a little bit of Revelation.
Let's do it.
Classic Robben Ford song again, and that was off of Talk to Your Daughter, I believe.
Talk to Your Daughter, I think, yeah.
Great album, and sounds amazing with the Les Paul. I'd say on this, the cleans on this sound really, really great.
Really big.
And we've got it really nicely balanced. And, as we know, when you're using the Dumbleator, the return is almost acting as a master volume. In this case, we're able to really get a beautiful balance without any compromise between the clean tone. I think when you were playing, the clean notes are very articulate.
I agree.
Have really just beautiful kind of crystal clear highs. and then you go to that overdrive channel, and there's not that huge discrepancy that you might get. I don't know if you're using pedals for distortion or something.
I think that's a big key in the Dumble sound.
Yeah, you get equal volume without losing the body of the amplifier, and you really hear that when you were switching between them, and you got that beautiful sustain, and it just wants to almost go into feedback. This amp seems to very easily want to just turn over into that, which is really, really, really great. I want to try one more Robben Ford song, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And we know that Robben not only was a humbucker player, whether it be 335 or Les Paul, but he also is a big Tele guy.
Yes, he is.
And a Tele was what this particular Dumble was voiced with. And we have the actual Tele from the original owner that he used to have this amp voiced by Dumble. Let's grab that Tele. Let's play a little more Robben Ford.
Let's do it.
Well, that was a beautiful clean tone. We've heard what it sounds like when the overdrive and the preamp boost is together. We've heard the overdrive alone. We've heard it clean, and now we just get it crystal clean. And I feel like I can really appreciate the clean tone of this amp most with a single coil, just having a little bit more of the clean tone that I tend to gravitate toward.
Exactly.
We've heard through Robben Ford. And that was actually a little piece that we've played before that Robben actually did when he was sort of improvising in our Vertex boost video. Many years ago, and this sounds absolutely great. This Tele is incredible.
Yeah, this is a really great one.
And this is a master-built Tele, right?
I think so, yeah.
And it looks like the real deal. The wear looks very authentic, but it is, in fact, a custom shop. And I think this is a good time to talk about one of the things that's unique about the serial number 195. So when this was built, the person that commissioned this from Dumble requested that this be in a silver chassis, because there weren't many of the silver chassis that were at the time that this particular one was built. And at the time he built that chassis, he didn't actually have an available head cabinet. And this head cabinet had belonged to Robben Ford. And in fact, there's a piece of tape on top of this that's taped down that says, like, Rick, this is the amp.
This is the amp, yeah.
And that's to indicate to Rick Wheeler, who is the technician for Robben Ford and often will go on tour with him, that this is the one that he needed to take either out of cartage or into the studio or I don't know, whatever it is.
And now it's here.
And now it's here, and there's some indication internally as well that this was made for Robben Ford. So this is, in fact, a head that was made, or an amp that was made using the head from one of Robben Ford's amps as one of the prolific Dumble owners and users. So just a cool aside about serial number 195.
Yeah, very cool. And
so we've heard some Tele.
Yes.
What do we want to move to next to continue to show the greatness of this particular amplifier?
So if you keep the Telecaster, we'll go to another Robben classic, Chevrolet.
And I love that because that's going to mean that you're going to have some clean.
Yep.
And then you're going to bring in
overdrive.
Would you do preamp boost on this or just straight overdrive?
Just overdrive and go to the bridge pickup on the Telecaster.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
Chevrolet, great song, gives us a good taste of clean side-by-side, the overdriven sound. It just screams, it just explodes off the fretboard. Everything you're playing again. I was thinking when I saw this cat, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like these Jensens. And I have to say, there is nothing about what's going on here that I don't absolutely love. Both this guitar and the Les Paul are screaming. Yeah. I want to, though, go back to a few of the other songs that we've played in the past to kind of run these Dumbles through their paces.
All right.
And one that we didn't feature as heavily on one of our last videos, but I think is an important one, which is by Steely Dan and then reinterpreted by Larry Carlton, the song Josie.
Yeah.
And although the original Josie, to my knowledge, did not include a Dumble Overdrive special, I believe the version that Larry Carlton did include it. And I know especially the live performance of it did include the Dumble Overdrive Special. So let's switch back to the Les Paul and let's do a little bit of that. And we're going to get to hear, again, side by side, that clean sound going into the overdrive in the same song. So let's check that out. Josie, great one to showcase again, the clean side-by-side, the overdrive. Again, I cannot express enough how, like, if the note could be anywhere in the speaker, it's like out here.
Yeah.
And it just explodes out of this amplifier. I really love just like how fat and projecting everything is about it. It's unreal.
Really in your face.
It's in the best possible way. I want to go to another Larry Carlton song, however, that is speculated, if not validated, that he used a Dumble on Solid Ground. And the song All in Good Time has some really beautiful, kind of creamy, Dumble-y sounds. Yeah. And although he probably used a 335 or maybe a Valley Arts at that time, I certainly think that the Les Paul will be able to pull it off.
So do I.
And that is just going to probably stick on the overdrive.
Just overdrive, yeah.
And I really like this. The thing that I'm listening for here is just sort of the sustained notes, the bended notes, and they're kind of longer sustains.
Yeah.
And you know that can sometimes be a challenge for amps that just don't have the right gain structure to be able to hold the body for a long period of time.
Exactly.
So I'm really interested to see how this handles it. So let's check out that song.
Let's do it.
So I think, Gabe, we've covered single coils. We've got some Robben Ford style stuff. We've heard clean and dirty. We've got some great Les Paul style stuff. We got that clean and dirty.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, this amp is an absolute winner. It doesn't get any better than this.
When you think of Dumble, you think of this.
You do. Absolutely, you think of this. I want to do one more song that maybe focuses a bit more on single notes only and big sustain. And one song that we've done before that I think really fits the bill and was played on a Dumble was the David Lindley solo on the Jackson Browne song Running on Empty. You created a really cool interpretation on the Les Paul that's not using the lap steel like you would normally hear with David Lindley. And I feel like that's a really great way just to hear like this amp just fully out, really nice and gainy, beautiful sustain. And I think that we should make that the last song for today. Just go out with a bang. So both overdrive and preamp for this one, or how are you going to do it?
Yeah, so for the rhythm part, it will be just the overdrive, and then the solo will engage the preamp boost.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
Man, it's been such a pleasure, Gabe, to get to hang with you, to get to hang with this great amp. It is absolutely astonishing. I want to thank our friends at Igloo for getting us all set up today, getting some great tones. It sounds absolutely amazing. Yeah. Gabe, thank you for doing the great playing.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. So with that said, we will sign off for the day. I am Mason Marangella from Vertex Effects, and this is my buddy Gabriel Bergman on guitar.
Yes.
Thank you again for watching. See you next time.